Women, you know, are beautiful. There's nothing nicer in the world. Man has brains and strength. But woman, her thought is a perfume. Her touch is the caress of flowers. Her grace is like wine, pleasant to drink. Her weakness is like a hank of silk, or the curl of a child in a man's hand. Her caress is a strength which is poured over our own strength and inflames it. Sorrow, fatigue, worries are forgotten when we lie near a woman, and she is in our arms like a bunch of flowers. Oh, what a fool I am! You are hungry, and I'm talking to you of women. Your energy is exhausted. That is why that fragrance of the earth, that flower of creation, the fruit that gives and excites love, seems without any value to you. But look at these stones. How round and smooth they look, gilded by the setting sun. Don't they look like loaves? Since you are the Son of God, all you have to say is, I want. And they will become sweet-smelling bread. Just like the loaves housewives are now taking out of their ovens for the supper of their families. And these arid acacias, if you only wish so, will they not be filled with sweet fruit and dates as sweet as honey? Eat your fill, Son of God. You are the master of the earth. The earth is bowing down to put itself at your feet and appease your hunger. Don't you see that you are turning pale and unsteady at the mention of bread? Poor Jesus. Are you so weak that you cannot even work a miracle? Shall I work it for you? I'm not your equal, but I can do something. I will do without any strength for a whole year. I will gather it all together, but I want to serve you because you are good, and I always remember that you are my God, even if now I have forfeited calling you so. Help me with your prayers that I may be quiet. Man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. The devil starts with anger. He grinds his teeth and clenches his fists, but he controls himself and turns his grinding into a smile. I understand. You are above the necessities of the earth, and you are disgusted at making use of me. I deserved it. But come then, and see what there is in the house of God. You will see how even priests do not refuse to come to a compromise between the spirit and the flesh. After all, they are men and not angels. Work a spiritual miracle. I will take you up to the pinnacle of the temple, and you will undergo a transfiguration and become most handsome. You will then call the cohorts of angels and will tell them to form a footrest for your feet with their interlaced wings, and to let you down thus into the main yard, so that people may see you and remember that God exists. One must show oneself now and again, because man's memory is so weak, particularly with regard to spiritual matters. You can imagine how happy the angels will be in forming a protection for your feet and a ladder for you to descend. It is said, you must not put the Lord your God to the test. You understand that your apparition would not change anything, and the temple would continue to be a market full of corruption. Your divine wisdom is aware that the hearts of the ministers of the temple are nests of vipers that tear and are torn to pieces for the sake of prevailing. They are subdued only by human power. Well then, come, adore me. I will give you the earth. Alexander, Cyrus, Caesar, all the great rulers, past or present, will be like the leaders of miserable caravans as compared with you, as you shall have the kingdoms of the world under your scepter. And with the kingdoms, all the wealth, all the beautiful things on earth, women, horses, armies and temples. You will be able to raise your sign everywhere when you are the King of Kings and the Lord of the world. You will then be obeyed and respected, both by the people and by the priesthood. All classes will honour and serve you because you will be the powerful one, the only one, the Lord. Adore me for one moment only. Appease this thirst of mine for being worshipped. It ruined me, but it is still left in me, and I'm parched by it. The flames of hell are like a fresh morning breeze as compared to this fierce ardour burning inside me. It is my hell, this thirst. One moment only, Christ. You are so good. One moment of joy for the eternally tortured one. Let me feel what it is like to be God. And I will be a devoted, obedient servant for all your life and all your enterprises. One instant only, and I will no longer torture you. And Satan falls on his knees, imploring. Jesus instead stands up. He has lost weight because of the long days of fast, and he now looks taller. His face is terribly severe and potent. His eyes are two burning sapphires. His voice is like thunder. It reverberates in the cave of the huge stone and spreads over the stony, desolate plain when he cries, "Be off, Satan! It is written, you must worship the Lord your God and serve him alone." Satan, with a cry of fearful torture and indescribable hatred, springs to his feet, a dreadful sight in his furious, smoky figure, and he disappears with a last cursing yell.